Every minute of the day, truckers are hauling valuable cargo through North America in every kind of weather.
I feel scared an hour no way.
Speed is everything. More miles means more money.
Joe goes where the dough flows.
Which trucker will make the most? Each week, these truckers have one goal: to haul their cargo safely to their destinations, hoping to collect paychecks worth thousands of dollars. But standing in their way is heavy traffic and treacherous weather. If they fail to deliver, they risk high fuel costs, fines, and lost clients. All bad for business.
We're just white knuckling here.
29-year-old Ryan hauls in northern Alberta, where winter starts in October and is often relentless until May.
I think the farmers like me doing their loads because I am a young guy, I have a lot of energy. I'm there to work. That's what they're paying me to do.
Ryan's just learned that he's going to be a father for the second time, so he's eager to make his business even more profitable for his family.
We're in a race against time here right now.
So he's trying to pull together 3 short-haul loads this week to make $6,000.
We're going to haul some bison this afternoon. Bring them! 1,000 pounds of bison running at you at 30 miles an hour. You really have to be on your toes. If they turn around and get you, get caught by one of these horns, rip your guts wide open. The roads were a little icy. There might be some spinning. And I'm running behind schedule. That means I'm going to have my foot into her, sucking back more fuel.
In Illinois, 25-year veteran Brenda feels she has her own battle to wage.
In this world, for females, you have to walk the walk, and you've got to be tough. It's just that simple.
You're looking good, hammer down.
That is not the answer I was looking for. And my saying is, only the strong survive. The weak fall by the wayside. Woo, yeah, baby.
This is the first time that Brenda has hauled a refrigerated unit or reefer.
Okay, so we'll show you how to run and operate the reefer.
Okay.
Reefers pay more money but use a gallon more fuel per hour, and the temperature needs constant monitoring.
This, we've set the temp to 65.
Brenda must drive the reefer with 40,000 pounds of cooking oil from Chicago to Boston in 21 hours drive time. That's at top speed with no margin for error.
Brenda, you cannot be late with this shipment.
It's the longest runs I've ever done, and it's going to be a challenge. The reefer loads are more time sensitive, and if you have a ruined load of food when you go to deliver it, they will definitely reject that load, and I would be in trouble. How crazy is that? And it wants me to get off at exit 11. I don't know. The GPS gives me comfort, but I still write the directions down. $70. If I go up, that's going north. But this is... And I was really relying on you to get me out east, okay? Lord knows. I cannot be late with my very first reefer load.
Brenda will make $2,250 for an on-time delivery of this load. If she's late, it's double trouble because she could be fined up to $100 a day. Or worse, miss the pickup time for her next load.
It is beginning to rain, going downhill. 4% grade, pretty steep.
Brenda's route takes her through the Appalachian Mountains. The steep climbs increase her fuel costs, and heavy rain makes the drive even more difficult.
When it's slipperier, you can hit your brake and you can slide, and that's a scary thing. This is definitely challenging. This is not working. This is not working. Calm back down, Brenda.
In North Dakota, trucker Joe is on his way to pick up a challenging load.
We're gonna go pick up a load of bees, about 9 million bees.
Joe knows that making big money involves taking big risks.
When the money's right, and I like to make money, I'll put up with an awful lot. If that means getting stung, working hard, I don't mind a bit.
Joe will be transporting 450 buzzing hives from North Dakota to California for the winter. A 3-day drive that could earn him almost $5,400. But the bees must survive for Joe to get paid.
Inside here is where honey for biscuits is made. Sting number 1. Isn't that nice? Something tells me this is not going to be an easy bee load.
600 miles to the north, Ryan is delivering his first load of bison.
Come on. This way. Out we go. Here they come. Get out. Come on, guys. Hey, hey, hey. For sakes, I'm pretty ice covered. You might have to throw a set of chains on. Hello. What do you mean? Yeah.
Ryan's girlfriend is on the phone.
Oh my God.
She's suffering complications with her pregnancy.
Danny, can you hear me?
And he's hundreds of miles away.
I gotta put chains on. What the hell is going on? Like, I can't concentrate right now. Just got a phone call from the hospital. I gotta see Danielle. I need to see my girl.
Meanwhile, Joe is making his way south. But the bees don't like being stuck in their crates, and so they're overheating and getting restless.
The most unique thing about picking up and hauling bees is the fact that they're alive. And they have to be alive when you get there, or they're worthless. Bees start getting loose as it starts getting warmer. Yeah, they're starting to fly. I bring a load of dead bees, I don't get paid. My kids don't eat. You just can't ignore that. Maybe the first 100,000 that have died doesn't look like much, but double that or triple that, it adds up quick.
With 3 days left to drive, Joe can't risk losing more than 5% of the bees, or his load will be rejected, costing him his paycheck. To add to his worries, Joe now faces another problem. Montana's first winter storm of the year.
Wow, we're kind of rolling into it now. The wind's picking up, and now we've got hail.
Joe is carrying 9 million bees, and he's heading into Montana's first winter storm.
I have a feeling we're gonna lose a lot of visibility. Probably gonna have to slow down. We picked up some snow. Hopefully it won't get any worse.
Back in Alberta, Canada, Ryan isn't thinking of his business at the moment.
Just ran up down here and going to see my girl. I got her some flowers here to make her smile a little bit, since it's a little tough to smile right now. So we're expecting, and had some medical problems. Pregnancy's taking a turn for the worst right now. I don't give two about loads. Family's got to come first. Hoping for the best. Nothing but a lot of hope.
Brenda made it through the rain with a refrigerated load full of vegetable oil, but it has delayed her arrival to Boston. She needs to make up 2 hard hours of driving time, or else she'll miss her next load and fail to prove she can handle a long haul.
Sugar lug, speed limit is 50 and I'm doing 40. And I can get up to 50 for sure if they get out the way. Makes me so dang mad. Move, get out the way. Reefer loads are time sensitive, and I'm definitely stressed because I still got a ways to go. Another toll. You big fat tailgate. You probably on the phone. I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna let your fat go. Dumb. I cuss them out all day, all night, especially when they make me mad. They make me mad all the time.
Now in Idaho, Joe wakes up to snow.
Damn, this sucks. Since it snowed half the night, that road ought to be a real fun drive. At least one thing, the bees are quiet.
Today, Joe will pass through the Rocky Mountains. A treacherous stretch of highway, even in the best conditions.
This is nitty-gritty trucking. The road hasn't warmed up yet, so the snow's not melted off. Could be icy patches. Once you start sliding, there's just no telling whether it's gonna come back to you.
His tires are barely gripping the road, but with almost 1,000 miles still ahead and only 48 hours until his deadline, Joe can't afford to slow down. Back in Canada, Ryan is at the hospital with his girlfriend. So Dean, his father, also a trucker, takes the wheel to earn another $1,500 for the day's short haul.
Quite unusual when we get a storm like this early. The snow makes a layer of ice as soon as it hits the ground here. Looks like we have a truck spun out here. I know that guy. I got no way to help him either. Can't back up anymore, eh? Just wants to scoot out, eh? This is what happens when these roads get like this. Oh, slippery. I'm not touching my brakes here neither, because if I touch my brakes, I know I'd slide on this. Slide along, out of control. Look at this guy coming way too fast. Oh, Nelly. Yeah, they just had a fun ride. Curb's ice here. Next time he'll slow down. I'm thankful he was far enough out in front of us. If that happened right in front of us, man, I'd have hit him and spit him right into the ditch. It's the worst fear of killing somebody. These conditions worries me constantly.
So far, each trucker has struggled with setbacks. Ryan has battled icy conditions to make $1,500 for his first haul. Brenda was slowed by rain and heavy traffic, but still hopes her load will earn her $2,250. And Joe is chasing a $5,400 paycheck on his long route through the Rocky Mountains. It's anybody's guess which one will make the most money this week.
Upshifting, downshifting, oh. Trying to keep it in between the two white lines.
Having traveled close to 1,000 miles, Brenda has only 1 hour left to reach Boston with the refrigerated vegetable oil. But beyond her headlights is nothing but dangerous weather.
Rainy, on top of dark, and hills and curves, it's scary trying to see. Look at that sign. 38 miles for Boston. By George, y'all better appreciate it too. Because it sure was not easy.
Despite the weather, Brenda's early with her load and will earn $2,250. Plus, now she's right on schedule for the next day's pickup.
I feel amazing that I have gotten this load here. That's a super trucker for you, and that's me.
Back in Alberta, after 2 nights at the hospital and with his girlfriend on the mend, Ryan can't afford to stay away any longer and is back chasing his target of multiple short-haul loads for the week. Not big distances, but paying up to $1,500 a haul. Today, Ryan will pull 30 tons of cattle from Trochu to Crestemere, Alberta. It's a short distance of 89 miles, but it's a long, tough haul to get his truck up this ice-covered hill.
We gotta get going. You wanna make it up that hill? We're chained up. It's gonna be a good crawl. If we make it there.
If Ryan can't reach the top, he may have to reverse back down. A risky maneuver that could put his expensive live cargo in the ditch.
Here we go. Just keep grabbing gears down. Sakes. She's spinning a little bit. Oh, we're chewing our way to the top. Just barely made it. Just hammer down.
Now that he's made it past the icy conditions of the Rockies, Joe is making up time, and he's eager to learn how his competitors are doing.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Joe, how's it going?
So what are you hauling today?
We've been throwing tire chains on here for the last couple days. A white, snowy winter up here in Alberta already.
Hey, so when are you going to join the big leagues and grab yourself a load of bees, start moving that around?
Yeah, I don't know about that. They sound a little too easy to handle. I hear you proved that real well when you got stung in the face.
I don't mind getting stung now and again if there's money in it, bro.
Listen, I'll be thinking about you every time you get
Out of your cab with 3 coats on.
All right, well, you enjoy driving through the desert. Don't fall on a cactus.
All right, bud.
Over on the East Coast, Brenda is on her way to pick up her next load and the most time-sensitive haul of her career.
Check it out, we are here at the pier. If this ain't big time, I don't know what is. Holla!
Brenda's load is 45,000 pounds of live lobsters, destined for the Windy City, and she has 15 hours to get it there. Transporting seafood is extra tricky, as it has to arrive fresh. So as long as Brenda gets there on time, she stands to make $1,500.
Thank you very much. Okay, I will. You too. See ya. All right. Woohoo! I got my load of fish from off the pier. I'm ready to go. Away from here. Woohoo!
Across the country, Joe's not as optimistic his load of cranky bees will make it.
This is the day that you make or break the load. You either make it or you lose it all. It's gonna warm up 20, 25 degrees. When it does, the bees are gonna probably start looking for ways out of the net.
But with 2 hours still to go, Joe needs fuel. It's a race against time before the bees escape and become a threat to the locals.
I've gotta get it done and get the heck out of here. Hopefully there's never a line. You got a stand-in or some chatty cashier, because the last thing you want to tell them is that you have bees. They might just tell you to leave. Slow pumps, just what we need today. I give it 10 minutes, people are gonna be madder than hell. They're definitely out and looking for a way out of the nets.
Joe is feeling the heat, too. With only 2 hours before his load is due, he can only hope the bees don't get even more aggravated by the blazing sun.
Why are you here? You need to leave. You need to get in your truck and go.
Some days, no matter how nice you are to people, they're just gonna yell and scream until you leave.
Still hours from Chicago, Brenda is carrying 45,000 pounds of fresh lobsters. But rain forces her to slow down.
It's pouring down, and I just hate it. It's got me on pins and needles because they would reject my load if I didn't get it there on time. I got too much at stake.
Any beach trip is a long trip. It takes a lot out of you to keep all the balls in the air.
In Southern California, Joe's traveled almost 1,900 miles to the bees' winter home. But now he needs at least 95% of the bees to be alive, or he'll lose his $5,400 payment.
I'm not taking any chances. It's too late at night for me to feel like getting stung. Listen carefully. You can hear them buzzing pretty loud. That's a pretty good sign, because you know they're alive, they're happy, they're active. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a success.
With enough live bees delivered to keep his customers happy, Joe's earned a healthy payday, making over $3,700 for the week's work. And as Joe heads home, Brenda is arriving at her destination.
Look at downtown Chicago, and I am ahead of schedule. 2,600 miles for this week. I'm just feeling good about delivering this load on time and proving to the company that they can depend on me.
Fresh and on time, it's won her a reputation with her new customers.
Yeah, this is as fresh as it can get.
And I brought this all the way from out of Boston. By George, I feel real proud.
Though she's made less than Joe, Brenda's 2 loads have earned her over $2,400.
We're a little behind schedule. I might have booked myself a little thin here.
With everyone else having finished up for the week, Ryan is the last trucker to deliver his load.
Hey, boys.
Despite the hard week, his short hauls and live loads have paid off. Between saving fuel and charging extra for the dangerous cargo, he's made more than $5,600, the highest earnings of our 3 drivers.
Looking like it's gonna be a good end to an otherwise tough week. Danny just called and she's discharged from the hospital in half an hour here, so that's Pretty good feeling. Gonna have my girls home. Woo! Yeah.
Every minute of the day, truckers are hauling valuable cargo through North America in every kind of weather.
I feel scared and I don't know what.
Speed is everything. More miles means more money.
Joe goes where the dough flows.
Which trucker will make the most? In the trucking world, getting paid means delivering loads when and where they're needed, no matter what Mother Nature has in store. Each week, these truckers test their limits in order to earn thousands of dollars that could be blown away if they can't deliver on time and in perfect condition. For 53-year-old Brenda, getting a big paycheck means taking chances other truckers won't.
Damn, I'm not ready for the snow. I love trucking because I love to drive and I love the money.
The tougher the haul, the more money Brenda can make, and nothing changes the game more than the weather. This week, Brenda will face her toughest challenge yet, a delivery that takes her on a collision course with Hurricane Sandy. A so-called superstorm, Sandy is a 900-mile-wide Category 1 hurricane roaring up the Atlantic Ocean. When it crashes into the East Coast, it will meet an early cold front, and heavy snow is expected to add to the misery.
They have the National Guard on standby. When they bring out the National Guard, you know it's major.
Brenda's long scheduled load of food supplies will now be desperately needed by the residents of the East Coast. A delivery that will pay her over $2,200, but will take her directly into Sandy's path. But she'll need to make the 900-mile journey in the next 54 hours.
Come hell or high water, I have a load to deliver. So watch out, Hurricane Sandy, here I come.
In Palm Springs, California, Joe is hustling to get off to an early start. Trucking to support his wife and 2 children, Joe wishes he could be more of a family man, but pulling long hauls keeps him away from home 330 days of the year.
Sometimes I think it's a little easier because they don't expect me to get home. The problem is, sooner or later, they won't would care anymore.
But if Joe wants to make it home, he'll have only 52 hours to deliver his first load. Joe is transporting a massive 50-foot-long Kelly bar, part of a portable drilling system being used for oil exploration in West Texas. A 1,000-mile delivery paying $2,900. Oversized loads pay 25% extra, but they also come with extra risk.
It's a lot of responsibility rolling down the road at 80,000 pounds. Lots of things can go wrong, and you're the gatekeeper.
But riding through America's desert heat is Joe's biggest concern.
When your tire pressure is low, the tire flexes more going down a road and heats up a lot faster. And that's where the danger starts, because on top of this desert heat, it's about all it takes for a tire to blow up like a balloon.
North of the border in Trochu, Alberta, 29-year-old trucker Ryan has yet to get on the highway because tree branches are blocking his only exit. Bending under the weight of the ice, Ryan has to clear a way past the branches before he can leave.
It just cakes the branches with a fog. It just sticks and creates this huge icicle around anything it comes in contact with.
Well, is that good, Ryan? Are you happy now?
I'm happy.
This week, Ryan will be hauling 4 oversized tractor loads, one at a time, from Trochu to Red Deer, Alberta, for a $3,000 paycheck. But he's already off to a slow start, and he still has to get loaded.
Oh, my tractor's not even here. What the stupid. I'm looking for it. I thought it was at the wash bay. Nobody knows where the tractor's at. Bye. Okay, so there's about 4 or 5 locations where it could be. Hopefully it's down here, because this is just adding pointless driving around and wasted hours to the day.
Meanwhile, Joe is enjoying nothing but clear skies, and he's decided to check in on fellow trucker Brenda.
Hello, Brenda.
Hello, Joe. Hey, you know, I'm getting ready to go into this hurricane, you know, and you're out there in, what, shorts wearing weather, flip-flop wearing weather? Who's the super trucker? Really, okay?
I'll tell you what, when I get stopped tonight, I'll order you a pina colada and FedEx it, okay?
As Joe and Brenda give each other the gears, Ryan's still trying to find his load.
Somebody moved it, and here's another place where it could be. Not very convenient when you're 70 feet long to be cruising around town looking for a tractor. There it is right there. There's my tractor.
Already 2 hours behind schedule, Ryan gets to work. All 4 tractors must be delivered as good as new and in time for Red Deer's biggest farming exhibition, only 2 days away.
Everything's slippery. Get her good and button down tight. This is my #1 client we're all in for. Gotta treat them good and get everything on time and get it there as clean as possible. These oversized loads, you gotta be on your toes and be on top of your game the whole time. The only warning system I have for telling people that I'm coming is a couple orange flashing lights and a red and white D banner across the front of my truck. The roads are getting terrible. That freezing rain just, as soon as it lands, it sticks and freezes, hence the name. Turns the highways pretty much into a curling rink. I've got something on my deck that's pushing $400,000, 16 feet wide in road conditions like this. I can't let anything happen to this load.
Back on the East Coast, the superstorm is pushed further inland, with New York reporting the largest storm surge of water in its history.
Just holding on tight, because that wind, by George, I can feel it.
On the road ahead, wind gusts are moving close to 39 miles an hour, and a steady snow is forcing Brenda to drive slower, pushing her and her load of food supplies behind schedule.
I'm talking about somebody getting scared because it's getting worse. Worse and worse. I talked to my mother, and she was like, why do you have to go out to the East Coast, you know? Well, I got to go that way because that's where the money's at, Mama, you know. I'm trying to fill this road out. Hey, does anybody know how far down Interstate 68 is Interstate 70? Did anybody come off of Interstate 68? I guess it ain't too many trucks out because I ain't seeing too much action going north.
Ahead is Atlantic City and the raging superstorm they've named Sandy. Brenda is heading right into its path.
Ooh, talking about somebody scared, okay?
I've been rolling a couple hours on this desert heat, so about time to stop and check tires. Worst problem is, you don't check them and they blow. The tire's one thing, maybe you damage a rim. But if the thing actually comes loose and bounces off and goes through somebody's windshield, in some states that's 14 years in jail.
Hurricane Sandy is beginning to lash the East Coast, and Brenda is driving through it.
Look at that stuff in the ditch. By George. Frankenstorm Sandy.
Loaded with 60,000 pounds of food supplies that need to get to the storm-battered residents of Atlantic City, Brenda still has 393 miles to travel in the next 21 hours.
And oh, they got the road blocked right here at exit 10.
The road closure has forced Brenda onto a detour with no way of knowing how far or how long it will last. But if it pushes her behind schedule, it could cost her her entire paycheck.
I don't know where I'm at because this is not my territory.
Back in Canada, Ryan is still on the first of a 4-tractor haul he must deliver by the end of the week. In front of him, freezing rain has turned the roads into a sheet of ice, and his only choice is to take it slow.
There's no telling what a vehicle's gonna do on ice, especially when you're heavy. That freezing rain, it like doubles the thickness of them power lines and they're sagging. They've been actually breaking all over the place, so there's been major power outages. gonna throw a little diesel in. I'm running pretty low. What the f? The pumps are down. No word as to when it's gonna be back. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to my next destination. I might run out of fuel on the side of the highway. That's great. Just another thing to add to the list of ups.
With yet another problem to deal with, if Ryan gets delayed any further, he'll risk losing his biggest customer and the $3,000 paycheck.
We'll see if we make it to Red Deer. Hopefully we do.
1,600 miles south, Joe's not happy with his progress either.
Well, just what we didn't need. We're stuck in traffic. Obviously, sitting behind traffic for an hour kind of kills your bottom line. Going slow is no way to make the dough flow.
With 9 miles to go, Ryan is running on fumes, hoping that he doesn't run out of gas before he reaches Red Deer.
I don't want to jinx myself. If I run out on the side of the highway, that's gonna push everything way back.
Finally, Ryan sees his exit.
Woo! I don't know, I got pretty lucky, I guess. I should not let it get that low. Even if I couldn't fuel up a Trochu, I should have, especially in winter, not been below half a tank.
With his tank filled up, Ryan gets his tractor delivered.
A little bit of freezing rain covering it, but need a little spray off, that's about it. That won't take too long to clean up.
But he still has 3 more to go. Nothing has been easy for any of the truckers so far. Ryan is faring the worst, with only 1 load delivered of the $3,000 contract. Brenda is fighting Superstorm Sandy's wrath in a bid to collect $2,200, but still has 300 miles to go. And Joe has lost valuable time in desert traffic that he needs to make up if he wants his $2,900 paycheck. With lots of tough driving ahead, it's impossible to predict who will be the top earner this week. Overhead, Hurricane Sandy continues raging through Brenda's delivery route to Atlantic City.
Good goose and mosa. Unbelievable. This is some serious snow. No doubt about it.
An hour into the detour, Brenda is rolling through the highest peaks of Pennsylvania.
Oh, look at that tree in the road. Damn. Hey, we got a tree halfway in the road up here, too, okay?
Okay.
I'm still scared. Scared of the now know what, but I'm still rolling. Thank you, Lord. Continue to bless me.
While Brenda prays to stay on the road, Joe is praying for time. Having transported the oversized Kelly bar over 750 miles so far, Joe's got at least 350 miles left to go.
We ran into some traffic, couldn't do anything about that. We put the pedal to the metal and tried to make up whatever time we could.
In the distance, a dust storm is rising. For a trucker, it's both a hazard and another potential delay.
Whenever that thing blows across the highway, nobody can see anything. Kind of a risk of an accident. When you drive in a dust storm, the biggest risk is other people that don't know what they're doing. They will get stupid and slam on their brakes, you know, or they won't slow down at all and they'll be doing 75 miles an hour right into something they can't see through. You wind up with a chain reaction crash because somebody stopped and everybody else keeps going.
In central Alberta, Ryan has arrived to pick up his next load. Having delivered only 1 tractor the day before, Ryan has just 10 hours to deliver the other 3, one at a time, to the farming exhibition in Red Deer, Alberta.
What's going on there?
This machinery is worth $500,000 and is double the size of a normal haul.
That's better.
And while he must catch up from yesterday's delays, the roads are still icy, and Ryan has no choice but to play it safe with a load as wide as this.
I guess I feel pretty manly hauling loads like this. It really gets testosterone pumping knowing that I'm one of the bigger guys out on the road here. Large and in charge, if you know what I mean. When we're on the 4-lane here, I try and hug this white line as much as possible, give the guys passing me on my driver's side the full lane. Also, there's lots of gravel on that shoulder. I don't need them pulling over and kicking those rocks at me. All it does is wreck my polish job and bust my windows out. What's that?
I said, thanks for the great big rollick in my windshield.
Are you kidding me, man? How the hell do you expect I'm supposed to stop that from happening? Go home and have a better day. You don't need to be cussing me out for that. Some guys out here, they got nothing better to do but bitch.
Joe's late. His delivery time has come and gone. Still 78 miles from his destination, Joe must now call his customer and break the bad news.
Dave, this is Joe. I got your Kelly drill. Yeah, I know. But listen, I'm not that far away. I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal. I'll get there before you got to send your guys home, all right? All right, I'll be there. See you later. Well, we wound up hitting a little traffic coming out of El Paso, so now we're a good hour behind. The worst thing that can happen is they give up and go home. That means I gotta sit on it all night, and I might be late to my next pickup.
With thousands of dollars on the line, Joe is putting his heel to the steel. Meanwhile, back in Canada, Ryan has just slowed to a crawl.
Snowplow up ahead. Guys, plowing snow at 30 miles an hour. I know he's trying to do his job, but he could speed up the process a little bit. Puts me behind schedule a little more than I'd like.
Ryan's super wide truck can't pass the plow. At this pace, he won't have time to deliver the next 2 loads, which could cost him the entire contract. But Ryan can only sit and wait as the clock ticks away. Ahead of Brenda is hurricane-vulnerable Atlantic City.
The wind is blowing like freaking crazy. I am worried about the damage that I'm gonna see up here in Atlantic City.
Brenda is driving directly towards the aftermath from the largest Atlantic hurricane on record.
I just hope I can get in. I'm hoping.
Superstorm Sandy is finally blown over, and Brenda is now driving into the storm's aftermath, with only 3 hours left to deliver the haul of food supplies and 135 miles still to travel to Atlantic City.
Jersey, they need this because the grocery store's shelves are emptying out pretty darn quick.
Atlantic City is now in a state of emergency, and getting anywhere is taking Brenda time.
Doesn't look like we're getting into Atlantic City via this way, that's for sure.
North of the border, Ryan is free of the snowplow that was slowing down traffic, but it's put him 45 minutes behind. His entire contract is in peril, but he's caught a lucky break.
All right, thanks, man.
You have a good day.
You too, bye.
His customer isn't ready and has canceled the remaining 2 loads.
I guess they're behind schedule, and we might be ahead of schedule, which I didn't see that coming.
With 2 successful deliveries to the farm show, Ryan's earned just under $1,400, a lousy week with a silver lining.
I got 2 equipment hauls done. Considering it was freezing rain, I did pretty good. It's time to turn, burn, get home.
Wow. It's like it's just about empty. You don't see cars all around or anything.
The city is desolate. Brenda has driven 1,000 miles to a virtual ghost town.
All the casinos closed, empty. Traffic lights are out. Motels, hotels closed. This is unfreaking believable. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I made it.
Despite her hairy ride, braving the hurricane has paid off. Brenda's arrived on time, earning her almost $1,700 for the week's work.
They were waiting for me. My load was really hot. Whew.
Well, you never really know exactly what the reaction's gonna be until you get out of the truck. I know they're never happy about having guys wait around on overtime to offload. Well, here we are. We found our gate. It looked like they were hanging around solely on our account, which means with any luck, they won't be all that mad that we're late.
Despite the delay, Joe's customers were still on the job site. The drill part was accepted, earning a payday worth $2,100, making him the week's top earner. Hurricane Sandy caused billions of dollars worth of damage and left millions of people without power. And with all the devastation surrounding her, Brenda is happy she made the journey.
Us truckers as a team, we move the world. You know, without trucks, the world would really stop. It really would, you know. So I'm so proud to be part of it.
Every minute of the day, truckers are hauling valuable cargo through North America in every kind of weather.
I feel scared and I don't know what.
Speed is everything. More miles means more money.
Dough goes where the dough flows.
Which trucker will make the most? In the trucking business, on-time deliveries mean everything. And there's no shortage of obstacles standing between these truckers and their paychecks. Each week, their job is to make sure their trucks don't grind to a halt. Because every minute they haven't delivered costs them late fees, clients, and the next load they could be hauling. This is exactly what trucker Ryan is hoping to avoid this week as he prepares for a 2-day trip away from his family.
You'll be okay, eh? Today I'm going on a long haul. It's gonna mean an overnight in the truck. I'm not used to doing this as much as I used to. Love you too.
Ryan will have only 48 hours to pull an oversized combine from Trochu to Grand Prairie, Alberta, where another combine is waiting to be brought back. A 1,000-mile-plus round trip that will pay him $3,400 if he delivers on time.
If you don't show up, no one's mad at Ryan. They're mad at me.
You know, I try and do everything I can to be on time. It's a lot of hills, a lot of curves, and we're going with an oversized load, so it might get a little risque.
In Illinois, Brenda is on a long haul as well.
I have a load of filters on, and I'm taking it all the way down to Miami, Florida. Woo! Where all the hot meat is at, okay? Once I deliver this load, I know I can have me a little bit of a good time, too. Me being on the road, you know, during the week and then getting home on the weekends, I get a little lonely, but that's how I make my money.
This week will be no different for Brenda. She's carrying a full load of air conditioning filters almost 1,400 miles through the eastern U.S., where a powerful front packing torrential rainfall is waiting.
Customers called me, and I have reassured them I will get them there ASAP.
A $3,700 job, Brenda has just 36 hours to deliver her load and is already feeling the heat.
I can only do 63 miles an hour, and this is following me. I cannot stand to be tailgated. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to get off my and if you don't, we gonna be on the damn news tonight. 10, 9, okay. When people make me mad from tailgating me or something, I take my hand gripper and I just squeeze it. And I just squeeze and I squeeze and I squeeze. And then I'm back to normal until some other fool comes around and pisses me off again, okay?
With Ryan and Brenda already on the road, in Texas, Joe is trying to get rolling as well.
I'm here at Mueller Inc., where they make steel buildings for any purpose you want. It's the cheapest and fastest way to put up some interior space. When it's finished, it's gonna look like that building over there.
Joe's home delivery is on its way from central Texas to western North Dakota, an area desperately in need of housing due to the rapidly expanding oil business.
North Dakota is a boom town because of the oil fields. People are willing to sleep in tents and cars in the worst of winter conditions. With any luck, these things will help a few more people get in a nice warm spot, because it's getting cold up there.
Joe's client has given him just 51 hours, a deadline that will pay him $3,600 if he can deliver. And the clock is already ticking.
I don't like to disappoint my customers. Frankly, repeat business is most of my business. So when you deliver late, they ask themselves why they're going to call you again.
It doesn't take long for Joe to get delayed.
We're stuck in road construction backup down to a one-lane road coming north all summer long until the weather is so crappy they just can't work outside. This is the way it is. I'd like nothing more than to get out of North Texas today, and that just doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Back in Alberta, the roads and skies are clear ahead of Ryan. And with nothing but blacktop to stare at, he puts in a phone call to Brenda.
How are you today?
Well, all I can tell you is I'm headed to Miami, Florida, where the sun and the fun is at, okay?
Wow, that sounds nice. Right? Yeah, I do wish I was down there. I won't be able to get to use my air conditioning for another 6 months.
Well, I get to use mine probably by tomorrow.
Were you caught down in the sand here?
I caught the snowy part of it and the windy part of it. Had the highway closed down.
Pulled over if the highway is closed then, eh?
Well, I took a detour. I didn't pull over.
Oh, okay.
That's what makes me a super trucker, all right?
A super trucker? Well, you should get that deckled on your cab or something.
If you want it delivered, call Super Trucker Brenda.
Super trucker? I mean, I think I'm a super trucker, but I don't just go telling everybody that.
If these truckers want to be super, they're going to have to do more than just talk. Because even in the sun, the highway can be dangerous.
Whoa, she just gave her big dare. So the wind just picked up here pretty strong, and the west wind coming over top of the mountains with the Chinook. You can really feel it pushing the combine around in the back. This combine catches a lot of wind. You gotta try and stay in your lane as much as possible, being oversized. Holy f***! It's this guy. He must not have seen me. I don't know how he couldn't. I'm over width and forgot flashing lights, but he almost just pulled right into the side.
With 100-mile-per-hour Chinook winds already threatening to push him off the road, mistakes like this one could end in an accident, destroying Ryan's haul.
Gotta give the horn a blast and give him a wake-up. Obviously didn't have his coffee yet today or something.
Now in Oklahoma, Joe is finally adding up the miles. But in front of him is the Great Plains, a 500,000 square mile expanse of flat prairie that offers little to no resistance to the wind, and Joe has to pass through the heart of it.
Yeah, come on, southbound.
Yeah, I got some heavy winds up in here. You might want to be careful coming over this next ridge. I'm about a mile ahead of you, and real nasty.
That southbound driver's warning me about the wind because he knows I'm not going to see it, and I can already hear it blowing across the cab, getting pretty noisy. And those big gusts come along, and they'll rock the entire truck over in the lane. And if you get a little too far to the edge, it doesn't take much for you to just tip right on over.
Back in Canada, the steady progress Ryan has been making on the long haul is slowing down.
So this is some of the stuff you run into on the road.
21 wide here, northbound, 21 wide.
And we're about 16, 17 wide. We're gonna be stuck behind these guys. We're gonna be cruising at 30 miles an hour for 25 or 30 miles. Do the math, that's an hour of putting along.
Ryan can't afford a major delay, but he can't afford a major accident either. And with no room to pass, he has no choice but to wait.
Suck. All these little four-wheelers that keep skirting in and out, all they're doing is making a death wish for themselves. They just signal and go and expect the oncoming traffic to put their brakes on. Bunch of meatheads. That's what drives me nuts, is idiot drivers.
Ryan's been waiting for 45 minutes behind a truck that's too wide to pass.
We're gonna be cruising at 30 miles an hour.
418's coming back here. You got a good break to get around us.
Okay, sounds good, man. Thank you.
But he's finally received word that there's an opportunity to get by.
There's 2, 3. There's 4.
You betcha. She's all fair at the front there, Combine.
Thank you much, guys. I'm gonna grab some gears and see what I can get flanged up here. That's when good radio communication comes into play. Appreciate it, big ones. Have a good trip, eh?
With 160 miles to go and only 2 hours of daylight left, the bulk of Ryan's driving will now have to be done in the dark, when his oversized load is harder to see.
Well, we finally wound up in it. We got a pretty decent wind coming off the west side.
Carrying a lighter than usual load, Joe's truck is being slammed by the wind as he guides it through the Great Plains.
The wind's starting to pick up now. It's gonna drag us right on over there. But crap like this'll... Hang on. Crap like this'll get you. Another guy goes by, sort of blocks the wind for a second, and the gust will hit you on the other side. That's usually the worst spot. Well, here's another guy coming. We gotta be careful. Hang on. Just hang on. only scared of this kind of driving, but just a little, because I know for sure that when you stop being scared at all, that's when it gets you.
900 miles away, one of Brenda's deepest fears is pouring down on the pavement.
Oh, it's raining. It's got me on edge. You want to see fear? Let it rain.
But with only an hour left in her shift, she can't afford to ease up on the pedal.
Right now, I have a light load, 15,000 pounds. It just doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. I don't look scared, but if you could see the inside of me, it shows a totally different story. If you could see my heart, boom, 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 on the inside, you'd be like, ooh, she is a little scared. So, hey.
Back in Canada, night has made Ryan's oversized load less visible to other vehicles, increasing the threat of an accident.
What's this thing? Oh, that's a baler. I did look at the forecast. It did look like there was supposed to be snow up here come tomorrow sometime, so on our way back, we'll have to see how that plays into the day.
If he stops now, he'll risk being late on tomorrow's return delivery, costing him a late fine and another night away from home.
I've been out on the road for days and I'm sad. My teddy bear's ripped and my sandwich went bad. I got to keep these big wheels turning because my girl's fire's burning to get this big hunk of lovin' back home. Love you, Danny.
In Georgia, the weather has noticeably improved, but Brenda is still fighting traffic.
You fool-ass four-wheeler, making my sensor go to off. Can't even move out this lane. I know you can see me, and now I gotta slow down.
Brenda is losing valuable time she needs to get to Miami.
I'm down to 47.
If she's late, it could cost her up to $100 a day and a paying client. There's just one day left for the long haulers to deliver, and the pressure is mounting. Ryan has yet to make his first delivery worth $1,700 after suffering an oversized delay. Joe is now braving massive winds to collect the $3,600 paycheck. And tough traffic and stormy weather have put Brenda behind on her $3,700 contract. With hundreds of miles still to go, there's no telling who will make the most money this week. On the horizon, storm clouds are looming, and Ryan is up at the crack of dawn, delivering his first combine in the hopes of getting a head start on his next delivery.
Sky's got a little bit of clouds building, not too bad. There is supposed to be a snowstorm coming. Try and outrun that snowstorm. We'll be getting back to Drumheller in the dark.
$1,700 richer, Ryan is the top-earning trucker so far, but he still has another 11-hour haul ahead to complete the contract, and it looks like he's too late to beat the storm.
See that snow on the highway? When it snows out here, the roads get icy, everything gets more dangerous. That's all just part of the job.
1,000 miles into his long haul, Joe only has 7 hours to deliver his prefabricated home kit to Williston, North Dakota.
Well, I'm in the Black Hills of South Dakota, and that means Rushmore. I think I'm gonna stop, even if it's just a 20-minute stop. And I don't know how you don't stop for Rushmore. It's so amazing. If you don't swell with pride, you're not American.
Despite the tight deadline, Joe thinks he can squeeze in this must-see monument.
I've been trucking almost 15 years now. I have the absolute best office window anywhere.
As great a view as he has, Joe has just 6 hours left to deliver and can't afford to stop any longer.
The customer's expecting us at 4:30, and they wanted it bad enough they're sending somebody out on a Sunday to get it. We got about 360 miles or so to go. Time to get up, put the pedal to the metal, and get this thing there.
And in southern Georgia, Brenda can't afford to slow down either, let alone stop. Her 7.5-ton load of air conditioning filters is due in Miami, Florida in 8 hours.
40. I'm down to 40, and this fool just wants to sit in back of me instead of coming around me. I am not your mama. Stupid. Made me lose all my damn speed for that. gotta get off the highway, because I can't take it no more. I gotta release my stress. It's past my brown eyes.
Top of bullseye. Outstanding. Repeat. How you feel?
I feel good. I'm just trying to see where I was shooting.
Brenda's blown off some steam, but now she has to make up an hour back on the road. North of the Dakota border, Joe is paying for his sightseeing tour.
Damn tire. Just what I needed today. Son of a...
With no time to spare, Joe's at risk of standing his customer up. And if he can't get moving again, it would put his entire paycheck at risk.
There's nothing worse than showing up late. Nobody usually cares why. They might have a little sympathy for you, but not if they're busy paying their guys overtime while they wait.
Ryan has only an hour left to reach his destination if he wants to cash in. And under his tires is nothing but snow.
Every road in Drumheller is downhill and curvy, so hopefully they've got the roads all cleared up. Make it safe to go in there with this oversized combine.
Drumheller is the heart of Alberta's Badland country, a series of dangerous canyons that make for treacherous highways.
So this is a pretty steep, windy river hill. There's not a lot of snow that's been plowed. It'd definitely be slushy underneath there, that's for sure. There's like a 9% grade or something on this hill. It always makes the pucker a little tighter when you're going down hills like this. But we gotta come down slow anyways, because at the bottom there's a bridge, and it's just a one-lane bridge. So I gotta come around the corner and just pay attention if anybody's coming down the other side at me. Peek around here. There's lots of salt and sand on the road by the looks of it, but still could be pretty slick. I'm not even in my lane. Can't see the lane. All of a sudden you can see the yellow line. Our lane's still snow covered.
Caught in a Canadian snowstorm on a super steep grade, Ryan is fighting to stay in control of the oversized load. At the bottom of the hill sits a one-lane bridge that can only fit one truck at a time.
Don't see headlights coming from the other way, so we're gonna grab a few gears.
Because of the cold air flowing over it, the bridge ahead could be a solid sheet of ice. But Ryan has no way of knowing.
Whoa, and there we spin out on the bridge deck. And we're good. Too much power.
I sure wish I knew why the thing was leaking.
With only 45 minutes left to deliver, Joe still isn't moving.
Oh, I say that's a problem right there. Geez, look at that nail.
Joe knows he can't deliver on time, but with $3,600 on the line, Joe's only hope is that his client is willing to wait.
The old school way of getting a tire beads set up is to throw a little starting fluid inside there and light it on fire. The air will expand very fast. Just about good to go, and so are we. Hope our customer's not too mad.
Safely across the bridge, Ryan reaches his customer with just minutes to spare, and with the combine in one piece. Between the two loads, Ryan has hauled in over $2,700, a decent take for 2 days' work.
I don't mind these long hauls. The only thing I don't like about them anymore is being away from my family. Hey, come here. Come here. Hi. I missed you. I missed you too.
Chad, this is Joe with J&C.
Running a full 90 minutes behind schedule, darkness is descending around North Dakota, and Joe is trying to keep his customer at the site.
Maybe 20, 25 minutes away. I'll see you there. Stroke of good luck, they're gonna go ahead and wait for us.
Despite missing his delivery window, Joe's customers are still happy to see their shipment arrive. Being late has cost Joe a $100 fine, leaving him with just under $2,600 for the week's work.
It's a couple of days up here, a little bit of bad weather, but the job's done and they're ready to go home.
But Brenda is in no rush to get home. As Miami gets closer, her mood is finally brightened up.
I can feel the sun just beaming in. It's hot. And my load is on time. I have kept my word.
Even though it was a stressful trip, Brenda's pocketed a little less than $2,800, the week's highest earner, which means it's time to celebrate.
Miami Beach, the Miami Beach. Woo! Damn, this feels good. Ain't no shame in my game. Come on, Miami, Florida! Woo-hoo!
Every minute of the day, truckers are hauling valuable cargo through North America in every kind of weather.
I feel scared of now, no what?
Speed is everything. More miles means more money.
Dough goes where the dough flows.
Which trucker will make the most?
You've got to be competitive in this trucking game. If you're not competing, you're going to lose money, you're not going to make the money you need to survive, and then you're going to be looking for a new job down the road.
Ryan, Brenda, and Joe are all competing to be the highest paid driver of the week. So Ryan calls Brenda to let her know he's the one to beat.
I'm going to be out here pounding the asphalt, making bacon, and I'm going to kick your ass in this competition.
I'm the super trucker. I'm taking the title. Ain't no doubt about it, okay? I'm the one.
All right, Brenda.
To earn the highest pay, truckers need to deliver loads on time with no delays. In Alberta, Canada, Ryan's lined up a long haul 600 miles away in Manitoba. But a severe weather warning for the prairies is forcing him to stay close to home, at least for today.
They're calling for heavy snow. I'm trying to play this weather off and do the best I can.
So Ryan's booked 3 wide loads on a route that will take him from Trochu, Alberta, 150 miles north to Heisler, carrying a 24-foot wide piece of farm equipment called a swather. Then it's back to Trochu with a second swather and plans to take a 3rd wide load south to Carbon, all before sunset.
I can't be hauling these oversized loads in the dark, so gotta rush. When we put them on, we'll back them on sideways. We're about 24 feet wide then, so it gets to be a little exciting.
If Ryan can do all 3 loads today, plus the long haul to Manitoba, he could earn $3,120. But he'll have to race the clock and plow through a prairie snowstorm to do it. Over in Billings, Montana, Joe's trying to pick up a load of bees, but he's hit a roadblock.
I show up here ahead of time, wanting to get out of here on time, and there's 2 other trucks ahead of me. Now I'm stuck here probably at least 4 or 5 hours.
Joe's in line to take the bees 1,423 miles to Exeter, California. The job pays $2,850, but if the client runs short of hives before Joe's truck is served, he won't be paid anything at all.
I'm looking around and I don't see enough hives, and I'm the 3rd truck in line.
Down in Hannibal, Missouri, Brenda's already behind schedule.
Construction just slows everything down.
Brenda's aiming to take 45,000 pounds of chips and salsa to Georgia, then an additional load back home to Indiana, and all in time for her favorite holiday of the year.
I have never missed a Thanksgiving out of my 25 years in trucking.
Brenda's aiming for a $2,350 pay week, but to convince her dispatcher to give her a second load, she has to drive 721 miles from Hannibal, Missouri to Social Circle, Georgia in less than 13 hours.
I don't need anything to slow me down.
But with the busiest traffic week in America well underway, delays due to accidents are inevitable.
Damn, look at that. I see a 4-wheeler that's nose down into the ditch. How the hell they do that? Always something to mess up your dang time. I tell you. Construction, traffic, and now an accident. That's 3 things. That's like a strike. You're out. So I'm pissed.
After a night of waiting, Joe's finally got his load of bees, but he can't afford any more setbacks. Not if he intends to arrive in California on time for a second load that will take him straight through Thanksgiving.
Hang on to your hat. But the wind has been one hell of a beast this morning. Sitting here with the wind coming on one direction. We're pretty tall. And if the thing gets to rocking and rolling, well, anything can happen.
Joe needs to make up lost time before he'll even consider pulling over for a safety check.
Now it's time to try and make that 4 hours up. With 9 million bees and 408 hives, pretty heavy load. It's gonna cost some fuel, but there's only one way to do it, and that's to get it done. We gotta put the pedal to the metal and make it happen.
Up north in Alberta, Canada, Ryan's hogging the road with the widest type of load he ever carries.
You gotta watch out, real careful when you're hauling this wide. There's lots of guardrails around. I can tuck over and the header will ride over top of the guardrails on my ditch side. But if it comes to a bridge deck or anything, the rails on them are normally quite a bit taller than how high the header lifts. So I'm gonna need to take up both lanes of road.
And that means chancing an encounter with oncoming traffic.
We can see the bridge here. Duck in the middle of the road here. But there's someone coming and I need the whole road because they got signs on the edge of this one. Got lucky there, it's about as close as you like it. I can still tell there that I had room if I put the hammer down, but if that vehicle's any closer, lots of times they'll get the mentality that if they put the hammer down, they'll beat me there, and lots of the time that's what causes the headaches and causes me to have to come to a stop. If they just understand how hard it is to stop these things, then they'd have the courtesy and the brains to pull over before me.
Back in Illinois, Brenda's broken free from the scene of the accident, only to find herself in danger of having one of her own.
I'm scared. I am scared. The drive today, awful. The wind is blowing like freaking crazy and, you know, mixed with rain. My nerves are shot. I will not lie. I am scared.
Back in Alberta, Ryan's completed the 150-mile drive to Heisler and is racing to swap the new swather on his deck for the old one behind the barn.
That thing loaded like a hot damn, eh?
Too easy!
Yeah.
But nothing at 2 degrees Fahrenheit is ever easy.
I'm trying to put the header lock in so it can't seep down on me going down the road. Just doesn't want to quite go in. There we go.
Finally, Ryan gets the farmer's old swather loaded and ready to rip back to the dealership in Trochu. But in his haste to leave, he's made a rookie mistake.
I shouldn't have turned it off. If it doesn't start, we gotta wait till we get back to Trochu and get the mechanics to work on it and get some heat to her, because I still got another load to go tonight.
Ryan's decided to pull over onto the narrow shoulder in an attempt to restart the swather's engine.
I'm in business. I'll unload her and should be able to get my last load of the day done.
But getting to Trochu's proving to be next to impossible.
We're running into a roadblock, something that's gonna hold my day up. So the utilities company here, they just have to lift up the power lines so this compressor shack can fit underneath. He's too tall and would rip the power lines down, and that wouldn't be good for anybody.
After a 45-minute wait for the compressor shack, Ryan is back on the move. But the wait is just too long, and Ryan's third load from Trochu to Carbon will never make it before sundown.
Just bolt.
Joe's made it through Idaho, but construction in the Nevada desert forces him to detour onto Highway 50, an old Pony Express trail that cuts a wicked path through the middle of nowhere.
It's the loneliest road in America, so I don't have a lot of options. And of course, as I'm thinking about this, I look down and realize I need some fuel.
But if Joe can't fill his tank soon, he could find himself stuck in the middle of the hot desert with a valuable load of temperature-sensitive bees.
There's a station up here ahead. I've filled up here before.
If Joe doesn't deliver by tomorrow night, he'll be forced to pay a $500 fine.
Geez, would you look at this? Damn it.
Stopping here would be a disaster. The bees would die in the hot desert sun, and Joe's good reputation would die with them. Brenda's 250 miles from Social Circle, Georgia, carrying a heavy load of food supplies. And while the rain has stopped, so has traffic.
Look at that.
It's every trucker's worst nightmare.
And that's a scary thing. Mess me up.
And for Brenda, it's one nightmare too many. She pulls off and hopes for a better day tomorrow.
I'm upset. I just can't take it no more.
Back in Nevada, Joe's driving on vapors by the time he makes it to his truck stop.
I've never been so happy to see a station in my life.
But he is on schedule, and if nothing goes wrong tomorrow, he'll be in California on time to collect full pay for the bees, and with enough time to pick up a second load before the Thanksgiving break. Ryan's third wide load had to be canceled when an unexpected roadblock ended his day. Now, to make up the loss, Ryan's risking it all, driving straight into a severe snowstorm to pick up a high-clearance sprayer from a dealership in Shoal Lake, Manitoba. It's a $4,000 run if he can get the cargo back to Alberta clean and in one piece.
The highway's so snow-covered you can't see the lines. It's snowing hard. It's caking up on the windshield a bit.
The snow is creating whiteout conditions, but Ryan can't afford to call it quits.
Gotta give him a whap, because I can't see at all.
Because of bumper-to-bumper traffic, Brenda's 45,000 pounds of chips and salsa heading to Social Circle, Georgia, won't be dropped off in time.
I was sitting on the highway from that accident for 3 hours. I'm gonna be late for Thanksgiving.
But things are about to get even worse. Brenda's dispatcher has given her second load worth $1,000 to another trucker.
It just makes me so freaking mad. You know, I plan my route out, I figure out what time I'm gonna be there and everything, and when things happen, like that accident happens yesterday, you know, I can't control it. It's out of my hands. It makes me mad. I'm such a timely person, and I like being where I say I'm gonna be when I say I'm gonna be there, not being controlled by something else, you know, like an accident.
Now all Brenda can do is finish off the late load to Georgia, then head over 1,000 miles towards home in Indiana with nothing to haul.
This is ridiculous. We don't need to be going this slow.
Ryan's been forced to slow the truck down to a crawl, and now he risks showing up in Shoal Lake hours behind schedule.
We've dropped down to 30 to 40 miles per hour in some spots. What's going on up there, Tarp Load?
Oh, my wipers are just completely clogging up my windshield. I can't see nothing. Y'all are gonna have to pass.
Got nasty in a hurry.
Yeah, this just came out of nowhere.
With all this blowing snow and dust, it's causing everybody to drive quite a bit slower because you can't see where the hell they're going. Pretty uneasy feeling.
It's been a rough road for the truckers so far. Joe started with a 5-hour delay, encountered dangerous winds, and nearly stranded his load in the desert without fuel. Brenda's hit grueling construction, multiple accidents, and lost a load heading back north. Ryan was forced to cancel a load, and to make it up, he's headed into one of the worst snowstorms of the season. With each trucker still hundreds of miles from their final destinations, it's impossible to know who will make the most money. Ryan's been driving through the snow for 2 hours, and now he's not worried about arriving late. He's worried about arriving alive.
Sometimes it gets a little sketchy out here when we're meeting other vehicles on this lane of highway. We get totally blinded by the snow. I know I'm going to keep her straight in my lane, but I just don't know what everybody else is going to do around me. So hopefully this clears up before it gets worse.
Joe is 1,092 miles into his journey. The California border station will be another delay, threatening his fragile load of bees. But it could get even worse. They could deny him entry and send him back to Montana.
Well, we're coming up to the California Agricultural Check Station. They just look over and make sure you don't have any funky fruits or vegetables or weird animals or what have you. And if for some reason they won't let these beehives come into California, well, they'll turn us around.
After a lengthy inspection, the official has found a suspicious insect in the netting.
I cannot ID it until Sacramento because I don't have the credentials to back me up. We just take a picture, send it to Sacramento, and they tell me to release the truck or send it back.
Joe's entire week hinges on one phone call to the state lab to ID this mysterious insect he's brought to the border.
You've been cleared by Sacramento to proceed. Nothing, the bug we found on the load is clear.
Okay.
Something we already have in California.
Fantastic.
So I just need your autograph right there.
Joe's off the hook with the agriculture officials and ready to blow off some steam with his buddy Ryan, who's just made it through one of the worst storms of the season.
It cleared right up. It's like night and day difference.
Does your truck ever thaw out?
No, she gets into one big solid block ice, man.
That's a mess, actually.
I don't let my shoes come in past the side of my door here. I drive with slippers all day long, even if I'm in the mud or not. So.
In the summertime, I used to drive in flip-flops and a tank top, and then somebody told me that was illegal, so I stopped doing it.
You driving with a tank top, that's the part that might be illegal.
After a long drive, Ryan arrives late, but is able to load the sprayer onto his truck for the long haul back to Alberta tomorrow morning.
And the guys left her out front and left the keys in it for me, so that's a huge bonus. Snowstorm, blizzard, freezing rain. I'm done with this for a day. Going to bed.
Despite the delays in the desert, Joe's bees are arriving in Exeter on time without a fine.
Well, the little bit of delays we had today fortunately didn't add up to a blown delivery. So that was awful nice.
But back in Georgia, Brenda finally drops off the late load. After falling behind in Thanksgiving traffic and accidents, her plan for 2 loads is ruined.
I'm just tired. I'm just ready to get home because it's been a rough week. It definitely has.
Back in Manitoba, Canada, Ryan gets the minimum of sleep before howling winds and a blistering snowstorm convince him to set out before dawn.
So we're just white knuckling here, trying to hold her between the white line and the zipper line and hoping for the best.
The weather is so severe, Ryan must pull over to clean his lights. But he's not the storm's only casualty.
When you go down the road, even snow covered, your tires get hot, create heat. As soon as you stop in this, they'll just melt down, it'll freeze, create a little bowl of ice around your tires, and you're So I know this has saved my ass a few times, dumping some washer fluid on your tires, because it doesn't even make sense how that melts so good, but let's see if it'll help this guy out here. There we go. There we go. Keep it rocking. Yeah! Woo!
Over in California, Joe picks up a valuable load with holiday pay. Joe's being paid $1,250 to take construction equipment from Chico, California to Peaceful Valley, Washington. But holiday trucking carries risks with it. Joe discovers there's nobody at the other end to unload the truck.
You know, if I have to sit on this stupid load for an extra day, we're talking about losing probably $1,000.
It would be a direct hit to Joe's paycheck, pushing his week's earnings behind the other 2 drivers.
They're apparently going to expect free public storage for a day, so that ain't gonna work.
Over in Tennessee, Brenda's finally caught a break. Her dispatcher has called again, this time to give her 9,000 pounds of oven filters to haul back from Tennessee to Rensselaer, Indiana. The new load saves her from driving home empty, but could keep her on the road late and ruin her plans for Thanksgiving.
I've got to get home, you know, for sure, for that.
At the Alberta border, Ryan's driving on icy roads. But for this load, it's better than driving through salt, sand, and slop.
It's really good for keeping this sprayer clean.
But with only 100 miles to go, Ryan's clean streak could come to an end.
But look at this. All of a sudden, the roads are good. And all of a sudden, he's leaving a trail of sand. Gonna be making a fucking mess for no reason.
Cleaning the truck will cost Ryan $200 and delay his drop-off.
I gotta get in front of this guy. If I get it dirty this close to home, that's gonna be ridiculous. Your sand and salt. Got myself out of that predicament in a hurry. I only had to follow him for about a quarter mile.
Ryan makes his delivery and won't be docked for a dirty sprayer. With 3 loads done and a whopping fuel bill, Ryan ends the week with a solid take of just over $2,000. Back in Indiana, Brenda's almost home.
My original plan was to be home by 7 o'clock. But I had this extra run, and so it's putting me way, way behind.
Brenda got her extra load, but it won't be enough to win the competition. But Brenda's still happy. She's made good money and met her personal goal of arriving home in time to celebrate the holiday.
All right, celebration time. Hey, baby, I'm home.
Joe's the last truck on the road, and after a frustrating night of uncertainty, he gets the green light to unload.
The broker finally got out of bed and started answering her phone and told us that they did finally get a forklift that'll offload our counterweights. Won't be until almost noon, but at least it'll be unloaded today.
With the help of a holiday favor, a buzzing long haul, and some last-minute luck, Joe's loads pay handsomely, making him the week's top earner. But it comes with a cost. Thanksgiving dinner alone on the road.
So it's another one on the road, just the way it goes.
Every minute of the day, truckers are hauling valuable cargo through North America in every kind of weather.
I feel scared and I don't know what.
Speed is everything. More miles means more money.
Joe goes where the dough flows.
Which trucker will make the most? Each week, these truckers work hard to book the highest paying loads with the least amount of costs. But you never know what's going to happen on the road. Bad weather, equipment failure, and heavy traffic can all make a dent in their hunt for big profits. And no matter how well they drive, they can't outrun Mother Nature forever. In Illinois, veteran trucker Brenda is bracing herself for an oncoming storm she knows she can't avoid.
The weather for this area is good, but the further east I go, that's a different story, because I'll be closer to the lake, and closer to the lake brings lake effect snow.
Lake effect snow occurs when cooler air moves across a large warm body of water, picking up water vapor that turns to snow, a common phenomenon found near the Great Lakes, exactly where Brenda is headed.
I hope it's not real heavy lake effect snow, but I know it's gonna be there waiting on me.
This week, Brenda will be hauling a 20,000-pound load of dried fruit from Quincy, Illinois to Buffalo, New York, a delivery worth $1,450 that needs to arrive in 72 hours. But with a storm brewing over the Great Lakes, Brenda's worried the snow will stop her from cashing in.
Have you heard anything about the weather out towards Buffalo, New York? Snow is scary, okay? It's just that simple. I don't like snow, not at all.
North of the U.S. border, big rig trucker Ryan is trying to make some money as well.
The early bird gets the worm. That's how I roll.
Across the province of Alberta, a cold front has moved in, plunging the Canadian province into a deep freeze, with temperatures expected to stay below 5 degrees all week. The frigid air means Ryan will have emergency jobs to contend with on top of what he already has scheduled. It's more money in the bank, but less time to deliver each load.
Jobs are like the weather around here. Sometimes it's pretty unpredictable.
Ryan has already received a distress call from a regular customer.
He's got a dozer, and it took the transmission out of it, he thinks. So everything's got to go in order here today because there is snow in the forecast.
A 94-mile journey from Trochu to Rimbey, Alberta. The extra load will earn Ryan $500. And with a long haul scheduled for later in the day, he has only 3 hours to deliver before the approaching snowstorm makes it too risky to haul his next load.
If the snow comes, customers will put me on lockdown mode and say I'm not moving nowhere with their equipment.
But Ryan's customer has serious concerns.
Morning.
Well, I didn't know if we're going to be able to go this morning because that was froze to the ground. Like the rollers are all froze to the rails and everything's froze solid. We can't get this thing to budge.
Ryan might have come all this way for nothing. He can't risk being late to his next customer, leaving him no choice but to forfeit the load if he can't free the bulldozer soon.
I like winter, but it doesn't make it work much fun, does it?
While Ryan works on a plan for his load, in Washington State, Joe, a long-haul trucker from California, is still looking for a load of his own.
Trying to find some kind of a load that makes sense, and the choices are slim, and worse, actually. Slim and worse is probably the best way to put it.
Having last delivered to Seattle, Joe is now stuck on the road 1,200 miles from home, and he's desperate to find a load that will bring him back.
Got it. 256978. All right, see ya. Well, lovely. I get to sit here all afternoon calling person after person that wants me to move something for nothing. It's gonna be a very expensive week if this is all we wind up doing.
Back in Alberta, Ryan has come up with a plan.
You're gonna plan on pushing out and bit with the front end loader?
If I have to, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll be able to winch it now.
Okay. That's making that pig work. Who's the man? Woo!
Moving freely, Ryan can now get the bulldozer loaded, but the extra hassle has cost Ryan 40 minutes he can't afford to spare.
There's supposed to be a big snow system coming in. Mother Nature's teasing us with some snow flurries going on here. The guy can't get a week in Alberta without a snowstorm.
In Indiana, the first sign of snow has appeared as well.
I tell you, the dang sun is gone, so I gotta take my dang shades off. It's like gloom and doom. With gloom and doom, you know what comes next, right? Snow is like a heart attack to me, but only because of little four-wheelers like that, you know. They don't even know how to drive when it's dry, let alone when it's bad out.
She's tense, but Brenda has no plans on stopping. And on the other side of the country, Joe doesn't either. He's back on the road, having won a contract to haul construction insulation from Portland, Oregon to Los Angeles, California in 48 hours. The contract is worth $2,100, but Joe's still in Seattle, 194 miles away from the pickup point, and the clock is already counting down.
Sometimes these things turn out to be more hassle than they're worth, though, and you don't know until you get into them. Oh, no, look at that. Son of a gun. This is great. A rock came up and hit the windshield and just spidered the crap out of it right in the middle of the driver's side. You can't go driving around with a cracked windshield like that.
Joe still hasn't picked up his load, and he's already in for a $350 repair job and a delay that could last all night. Time and money he can't afford to lose if he wants this week to turn a profit. 80 miles into his delivery, Ryan is almost at the repair shop with the dead dozer, but the storm has started bearing its fangs.
So it's definitely a little slick out here. You can see the tracks through the ice on the road. You gotta pay attention.
Arriving at his destination, Ryan's made good time, but with the snow falling early, it wasn't quick enough.
Hello. Oh, really? So you don't want it hauled then? Yeah, well, I know the weather's skirting around a bit. I just didn't know what it was doing over your way there.
Unable to beat the approaching storm, Ryan's customer has canceled the long haul, leaving him without any loads for the rest of the week.
So I guess I'm done for the day. Great.
"40 miles from Portland, Oregon, Joe has had to wait until early morning to have his windshield replaced before he can pick up his load.
I looked at the weather. This whole trip is going to be a mixed bag of rain or God knows what the whole way down.
With 1,000 miles still to travel and only 33 hours on the clock, Joe has to make up the time he lost fixing the windshield if he wants to collect the whole $2,100 paycheck. But approaching off the coast are a series of potentially deadly storms, fueled by an atmospheric river carrying tropical moisture from Hawaii, also known as the Pineapple Express.
It's early. It's cold. I don't think these guys here even know that I'm not here yesterday when I was going to try and be here.
Finally loaded up, Joe will now have to pass through the narrow roads of the Cascade Mountains, where storms are expected to pour up to 20 inches of rain and snow. Back in Alberta, an overnight snowstorm has coated the Canadian prairie in white.
The weather's cold. It's 5 degrees Fahrenheit, -8 Fahrenheit with the wind chill. Hitting the road.
After losing his long haul due to the snowstorm, Ryan is struggling to keep up with the other drivers.
So I'm just doing this one little short run a day. Probably make close to 500 bucks on it.
Ryan's managed to book a load of cattle that needs to be moved to fresher pastures. But despite it being a short 28-mile haul, he still has icy conditions to deal with.
It's a real pain in the spot. Throw some chains on her here and we'll see how she goes. We're not able to back straight up this hill, so we'll have to try and jackknife in there towards the chute. It's ridiculous. Should have had this plowed.
With the cows loaded, Ryan's curious to know how his week's stacking up with Brenda's.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Ryan.
How are you?
I'm good. It's cold. I'm working hard.
It's cold up here, too.
You think your little piggies will keep warm and all that?
You got all that wrong. I don't know pigs. I can afford to have lobster and steak, so I don't need to worry about making bacon.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Ryan.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta go and make some more dough. You go and haul your pigs, okay?
Brenda has been hustling to beat the snowstorm, arriving early for her drop-off, but her customer isn't ready for her.
Oh, this is gonna mess my money up. It's Tuesday, and they set my window up for Thursday, but look at this. I mean, it's no snow, and now I gotta wait.
If Brenda can't find a way to unload her haul, she can't pull any other loads either, and her hopes of a high-paying week are slipping away.
We were expecting rain, and the rain sure showed up.
Now in the Cascade Mountains, Joe is driving fast to make up for a night stuck waiting.
We're just at that stage where the temperature dropped, and I can start seeing ice that's starting to form on the windshield. And the wipers get so hard, they're not flexible anymore to wipe it off.
Joe's visibility is continuing to drop, but he can't afford to take it slow if he wants to make his delivery on time. Back in Alberta, Ryan's delivered the cattle, and his empty schedule has left him time to get to some not-so-pleasant chores.
What a way to end a crappy day, shoveling out a little cow turd.
So far, Ryan, Brenda, and Joe have all had their fair share of highway troubles. After losing a long haul, Ryan has only collected $1,000 and has yet to book any more loads. Brenda has made it to Buffalo, but is now stranded as the snow begins to fall, unable to deliver her $1,450 load. And Joe has lost a full day and $350 on a broken windshield, picking up a $2,100 load. Now he has to make it worth driving through a coastal rainstorm in the Cascade Mountains. With only a few days left in the week and hundreds of miles still to go, no one can afford any more surprises if they want to be on top this week. On the Canadian prairies, temperatures have plunged below zero, and Ryan's truck is standing still.
Morning, how are you? Good. You guys busy?
So far this week, Ryan has only pulled 2 short hauls and is on the phone with his customers, desperate to load another.
When's the next load going up there?
In Buffalo, New York, Brenda has spent the night trying to change her load schedule to get back on the road, and the hard work has paid off.
I called my dispatcher and I pleaded with him to get my load unloaded, and so he agreed to it. I get to make some more money.
Brenda has arranged to pick up a 44,000-pound load of salt from Cleveland, Ohio, that will pay her $1,000 if she can deliver it to Iowa City, Iowa in 34 hours. But that means she'll be driving 230 unpaid miles with an empty trailer. And on the roads ahead, the missing snowstorm has finally appeared.
The dangers of driving with an empty trailer, when it's snowing, it can push you around. You know, it can make you move. It gives a bigger tendency to slide faster. Wow, visibility is low. I'm like, damn. Oh man, talking about scare. How much worse can it get?
Across the country, the snow under Joe's tires has turned the mountain roads into a sheet of ice.
It's logging country. The roads are windy, they were built for logging trucks. There's not an interstate. A newbie comes up here and he's not paying attention, and then boom, he stabs the brakes and he's in the ditch. You get up here like this, you don't take your eyes off the road.
Joe has only 23 hours left to deliver his lightweight insulation to Los Angeles, California. But the road conditions are forcing him to slow down. Still, Joe knows that one wrong move could be disastrous.
Oh my God, you see everything out here. Hang on. You're okay? All right. I hate seeing anybody wind up not getting where they're going, but it really makes you think twice when it's another truck.
In Cleveland, Ohio, Brenda's made it through the snowstorm and picked up her haul. But with no more time left in her shift, she has no choice but to call it quits.
I'm hoping that tomorrow will be a better day.
What the you doing? Get the out of here!
Oh, my damn cap is loose. They stole my fuel.
Back in Alberta, Ryan is up before the break of dawn again after an unwanted day off.
I got a phone call from a tank truck company out of Three Hills, and they got a broken down truck.
Only a short 78-mile drive from Red Deer to Acme, Alberta, Ryan will get a much-needed $700 paycheck for the rescue.
Let's hope this thing will start. It's a little chilly out here this morning. She ain't as fancy as my rig, I'll tell you that. You're kidding me. That's gonna be real handy if everything's dead.
Lacking electricity, Ryan will have to guide the truck onto his flatbed using nothing but his winch, a dangerous maneuver that must be performed perfectly, or the tanker could roll over.
Holy! See that?
Back on the Alberta highway, Ryan started loading the stranded tanker. But if he's calculated wrong, the tanker will spill over onto the road.
Holy! See that? There she stops. And that should be a perfect pull.
With the truck successfully loaded, Ryan needs to get moving. He still has 78 miles to drive, and his customer is waiting.
Out here in the cold, doing what I do. You gotta work and earn your money.
In Ohio, Brenda's tank is sitting on empty after being siphoned the night before by thieves.
Sons of unbelievable.
But with a $1,000 load that needs to be delivered in less than 10 hours, the only thing she can do is fill up and keep moving. Now more than ever, she can't afford to be late.
When they siphoned my fuel, it just, took so much out of me. I'm ready to go home, yes. This has been a long, hard, thing after thing week.
Now in Southern California, Joe is racing against time with just an hour left to reach his delivery point.
Mashed potatoes and gravy. To go. And not exactly your average finger food, but it can be done. And what can you do? There's no time to stop. Most of the time, you just gotta get it to go.
But Joe doesn't have to rush. Only a few miles away is his destination and home, Los Angeles. Despite a rough start, Joe has managed to deliver on time. But with fuel costs and a broken windshield, he's taken a big hit, only bringing in close to $1,150. Still, being home allows Joe to spend a rare occasion with his children.
Can you imagine looking through those little tiny holes to see where you're going?
In the Midwest, Brenda is almost finished what's been a miserable day.
I am almost here to drop my load, and I'm getting ready to beat feet home. Home sweet home, here I come.
Reaching her drop-off point, Brenda is on time, but her delivery is bittersweet. The stolen fuel has left her with just over $1,300 to take home, hundreds of dollars short of the total she'd been hoping for. But in Alberta, Ryan's emergency tows have saved him from a similar fate.
Oh, that's good enough. We'll look after it from there.
Okay.
With the tanker delivered safely, Ryan has made another $700, hauling in over $1,400 total, the biggest paycheck of the week.
I just had to scramble this week because I was planning on being busy. Feel bad for the guy whose truck broke down, but that gives me work. Trucks don't make money when they're sitting in the shop and the wheels aren't turning.
Every minute of the day, truckers are hauling valuable cargo through North America in every kind of weather.
I feel scared and I don't know what.
Speed is everything. More miles means more money.
Joe goes where the dough flows.
Which trucker will make the most? Each week, truckers all over North America battle extreme weather, bumper-to-bumper traffic, and unforgiving deadlines to keep their wheels rolling and the money flowing. Any obstacle can result in a hit to the trucker's bottom line. To be the best-paid trucker of the week, West Coast trucker Joe has agreed to drive a load of luxury spas from the Southern California coastline, 1,105 miles northeast, to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. The job pays $2,050 if Joe can deliver before the office closes tomorrow night.
I'd like to get well into Nevada, maybe a little further.
With such a long haul, Joe can't afford any major delays, but he's already in trouble. As Joe leaves the coast and heads inland toward the Sacramento Valley, California's winter weather shows a dark side.
Visibility looks like it's dropping.
Joe has run into a blinding wall of tule fog. In winter, cold air from the Sierra Nevadas sinks into California's 450-mile-long Central Valley, where it mixes with moisture from the wetlands, creating ground fog.
I have a feeling it's going to get denser and even harder to see.
The fog in the Central Valley is putting Joe hours behind schedule. At this pace, he'll miss his deadline, but he's not willing to drive the speed limit in such dangerous conditions.
Only an idiot would be driving full speed. I'm down to maybe 40 miles an hour because I just don't want to run right into somebody. If there's an accident, you're not going to see it. They had one down in Texas. 145 people. Chain reaction crash on both sides of the freeway. The only defense you have is to just slow way down.
Just south of Chicago, Illinois, seasoned trucker Brenda is off to the races with a tractor filled with cardboard gift boxes to celebrate Christmas.
The thing that's getting me right now is that it's really, really windy.
Without enough weight on her tires, Brenda could tip.
20,000 pounds, that's nothing for the wind.
And even though the Windy City's 20 miles behind her, strong gusts in this open terrain are giving Brenda a run for her money.
You wonder if you'll be able to keep it on the road sometime when it's windy. Oh, Lord, please keep me safe out here.
To bring home a big paycheck this week, Brenda must drive 926 miles through America's heartland to New Orleans. And she'll only have 25 hours to do it. Having survived a dangerous haul through Hurricane Sandy,
Ooh, talking about somebody scared, okay?
Brenda has a special interest in her new destination.
They got hit with Katrina, and it was a major hurricane. Just totally wiped out New Orleans. And so I'm curious to see what it looks like now after all those years and all that damage it did.
But before Brenda can visit ghosts of storms past, she'll have to make it through a storm barreling towards her front windshield.
Real funky looking, like you're gonna just open up and let it all out.
Up in Alberta, Canada, 29-year-old Ryan is also racing the clock and fighting the weather.
Winter weather in Alberta is fierce, it's unpredictable, And if you let your guard down, it'll kick you in the neck.
Ryan's heading 100 miles to Red Deer, Alberta to load 25,000 pounds of hardware supplies. Then he'll join a convoy to drive 461 miles to the far north, where the Alaska Highway begins in Dawson Creek, British Columbia. But before he even gets to Red Deer, the weather turns ugly.
All of a sudden it starts to rain. Cold enough out, it's freezing rain. Keep trucking along and see what Alberta weather throws at us. Can't predict this.
If the convoy can't deliver before midnight, Ryan will be fined, and he'll lose the job next time hardware is heading north.
Limited visibility out here, snowing hard. Whoa. She's slippery. I just spun out as I turned the corner. Hopefully make her up the other side without doing. Oh, she's spinning going around this curve. She's a little icy.
Back in Illinois, a low-pressure system has ushered in a nasty rainstorm that has darkened the sky and is threatening to slow down Brenda's load.
If I gotta slow it down, I slow it down, but I'm not stopping. I gotta keep it moving, because I got a load to deliver. The first 10 minutes of rain is the worst time to drive. I think I'm more scared then. You hit those brakes just a little bit too hard, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Crash and boom, or jackknife, or... Damn! Gripping onto the steering wheel, but I gotta get this load there.
The rain is showing no sign of letting up, but with no way to extend her deadline, Brenda has to make it through the storm. After a slow haul through the Thule fog, Joe's 2 hours behind schedule, but he's on the wrong stretch of road to close the gap.
It's starting to rain as I just start climbing the hill here. In the next hour and a half, I'll be up at over 7,000 feet.
Joe is ascending Donner's Pass, the historic link from California to all points east. It's a treacherous highway, feared by truckers for climbing 7,000 feet in under 72 miles. A record-setting grade that claims lives each year.
When you climb that high, the temperature drops, so a little bit of rain can turn into snow. It's a little early to expect throwing chains on the tires, but at that elevation, anything can happen. Temperature's dropping, little bits of like slush are hitting the windshield. We're only 2 miles from Donner Summit. We're really getting into it now.
North of the border, freezing rain has turned to snow as the convoy assembles for its long haul north.
It's gonna be 950 miles of winter, white, snow, slop, slush, and...
With business drying up close to home, Ryan's been forced to take the only load he can find, a convoy delivering hardware to northern Alberta. It's a risky run that's headed straight into a winter storm.
It's about teamwork out here.
You know we got a heavy snowfall warning, eh? Just to keep us on our toes.
Where's the snowfall warning for? Everywhere?
Yeah, everywhere.
Minutes later, the convoy drives straight into a wall of white.
Whiteout. As soon as the truck passes, you lose everything in front of you. Everybody's gonna be putting along here like a dope until we get to Grand Prairie.
Yeah, you really gotta watch it.
Whoa, real slick. I just started to go sideways there.
Ryan's convoy is heading north in a snowstorm, delivering hardware supplies to northern British Columbia.
Look at this yahoo. Is he stuck or what's he doing?
To make the midnight deadline, the convoy can't afford any surprises. But Ryan has one they can't resist. He just got engaged to his girlfriend, Danielle.
Congratulations is in order for Ryan. He proposed to Danny, come on. Right on, way to go.
Thank you, boys. Thank you. Drive along and I pulled over and then I dropped down to one knee on the side of the highway too there. I said, I love the highway like I love you. Will you marry me?
It's a good thing you put the highway first.
But this highway is in no mood for a late afternoon love affair.
Oh, now I got a snowplow in the hammer lane here. We're gonna have to slow down.
With the highway icing up and traffic slowing to a crawl, the convoy is falling hours behind schedule. Almost 2,000 miles to the east, Brenda's driven 80 miles through heavy rains. And even though the sky is lightened up, Brenda's mood is getting darker.
Rain is nothing to play with.
But a truck racing Brenda is doing just that.
Now, why in the hell are you gonna let me catch your chicken and then speed up when I hop out in the hammer lane? You a little chicken. When a female passes a male trucker, their testosterone kicks in. And then they'd be like, I can't let that woman outdo me. And then they'll speed up on you. Being in the trucking world, being a lesbian, you know, it's not really, it's not a big thing. It's a bigger thing for the men. There's that again. I do not want to see a red truck again today.
Joe's made it 7,000 feet to Donner Summit, but going down the mountain pass is far more dangerous than going up. And to make things worse, the roads are in terrible condition.
This side has been snowy and slippery all day long. All the trucks are throwing slush, but we just hope nobody does something stupid. You went into a panic stop, you'd slide.
Down in Mississippi, Brenda's push through the rain with a time-sensitive load of Christmas boxes has paid off. She's still on schedule, and to reward herself, Brenda's about to gamble on an unscheduled pit stop.
I'm passing right through my mother's hometown, and I can't just pass her exit and not stop off to see her. Hello, Mother dear. Hi. Hey, Mama.
The only time I worry about Brenda is when it's really raining or snowing real bad, ice on the road. Then I do a lot of praying, a lot.
Trucker curse, you can't stay long. It can be rough.
Joe's made it 600 miles into his long haul, making up lost time. He wants to drive as far as he can into Idaho before calling it quits for the night, but he's going to have his plan changed for him.
Ah, crap. I'm trying to make some miles tonight, and I just passed a sign warning of a rock slide up ahead. Really in no mood to just go up there and wind up parked on the highway all freaking night. Smartest thing I can do.
Back on the road to Dawson Creek, Ryan and his convoy have a new threat to worry about. Moose.
When you're driving up here, you can't let your guard down in the nighttime. All that moose crossing the highway, pretty scary thing to see. Do some damage.
Yeah, you bet. About a month ago, pick up in the ditch, it all crumbled up, windshield gone.
This stretch of Alberta's Highway 43 has come to be known as Moose Row. This far north, moose, some weighing 1,200 pounds, wander onto highways, attracted by the lights of vehicles, and the results are often fatal. Despite the dangers of moose crossings, the convoy is making good time, but something forces the lead truck off the road.
Ryan, front door's on the shoulder. What's that problem?
We're all pulling over on the side of the road here.
So far, each trucker has struggled with setbacks. Ryan's convoy was forced off the highway in heavy snow, and now they've got a truck down on Moose Row. Brenda's fought wind, a lightning storm, and a reckless 18-wheeler on her trans-American haul to New Orleans. Joe's had one of his most difficult runs, Tule Fog, the Donner Pass, and now a rock slide. With the truckers nowhere near their final destinations and set to face their biggest challenges yet, it's impossible to know who will make it through to earn the most money. Up in northern Alberta, Ryan's convoy has been forced to pull over onto the shoulder of a deadly stretch of Alberta highway known as Moose Row. But it's not a moose that stopped their progress.
We're going down the road, all of a sudden there's calling CB, Russell's got steam coming up, he blew a coolant line. Nobody leaves nobody behind when you're convoy, especially in winter. One thing you do, you pack a bunch of spare parts when you're out here as much as you can.
And after pooling all of their spare engine coolant,
clear.
The convoy is back in business, but it's come at a cost. With 80 miles to go, the breakdown has added an hour delay. Now, Ryan needs perfect conditions to get his hardware supplies to Dawson Creek by midnight to avoid a fine.
No more interruptions, we gotta get going.
Joe's load of spas is in jeopardy of arriving late. Last night, a rock slide blocked the highway through Idaho. And with a full day of driving ahead of him, Joe will need to make up 2 hours of lost time to avoid a fine.
This is a pretty good little rock slide. A rock slide like this is caused when water softens up the dirt to the point where the weight of the rock is enough to pull it off and separate the stiction from the mud. Or they'll have a freezing night and the water goes in there and freezes and actually forces the rock to split off of the rest of the rock face. That would have easily killed somebody if it hit him.
Ryan's convoy has made it 80 miles outside of Dawson Creek, but another intense snowstorm is blinding the convoy, slowing down their pace and making it impossible to make up for lost time.
It started to snow pretty hard. Russell said he's got no tracks on the front door, so he's breaking trail. Hey, Grant, am I getting close to you? Can't see it through all the dust here. Give me a flash or something.
Right here, buddy. Come on.
We've only got about another hour out of a 4-lane, then we're on 2-lane, and that's when it gets a little tougher to see.
By the time they make it to the 2-lane road, it's already midnight. Ryan's technically late for delivery, and if fined, it could tarnish his reputation in Dawson Creek.
Look at all this snow coming down. Real pain to see anything here.
Now that he's cleared the rock slide, Joe decides to check in on Brenda's progress.
Well, hey, Joe. What you know?
I know how to make dough, that's what I know.
What? I'm a super trucker. I deliver, and I deliver on time. I'm getting ready to crank my truck up. I'll have to catch you on the next go-around, okay?
You gotta go to make the dough, right?
Don't you know? Yes.
I do know. I do know.
This competition is mine. I'm taking those fellas down. New Orleans, here we come.
Brenda's arrived on the outskirts of New Orleans, confident she's going to make her delivery of Christmas boxes on time.
I'm so happy. Woohoo! Loving it, loving it.
But she still has the greatest challenges of her day ahead.
Driving over here is a very big challenge because I've never been here before.
8 years after Hurricane Katrina, large sections of New Orleans are still showing the terrible effects of the storm. And Brenda's driving straight through them.
It's looking a little rough, like nobody's trying to repair those yet.
But it's not only hurricane damage that makes New Orleans a tough city for truckers.
Damn, oh hell.
Turn left on North Claiborne Avenue.
Okay, that's Claiborne. Can't go left. Go left here. Gotta swing wide.
Brenda turns a corner and finds her truck dangerously close to a sagging power line.
I don't know if I'm gonna make this electrical line.
And now, only 3 miles from her destination, Brenda has to get free of the wires, or she'll miss her deadline and risk losing the week to Ryan or Joe. With the truck stuck under a fallen electrical wire, time is almost up.
I got this big, huge 18-wheeler truck.
It's a matter of inches. But Brenda slides out of danger and heads for the home stretch.
This was a roundabout way to go, because look at that. There it is, right there. Girl, you know I love you, but you just messed me up.
Joe's struggling to deliver a load of spas to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, before their offices close. But for the last 2 days, weather has derailed his schedule, and it's showing no sign of letting up.
Seems that I've driven right into a white Christmas.
The road is icy, and Joe's again having to slow down to keep his load safe.
This could get a lot worse. I've got snow chains if I need them. I don't want to have to stop and screw with them. I generally avoid these parts because nobody pays me to deal with the weather.
With 60 miles left in his journey and winter weather affecting his progress, Joe knows he won't make it to Coeur d'Alene before 5 o'clock. Now all he can do is respect the road and take the hit for arriving late.
It seems that they are ready for us. They're as anxious to get it as I am to get rid of it.
Factoring in Joe's late fee, he made $1,450, a thin profit margin for such a difficult journey.
Still in one piece. That's all that matters.
Ryan's convoy is pushed through the snow, arriving 45 minutes late in Dawson Creek. It's not enough for a fine, but the difficult haul has come at a cost. Ryan's dead tired.
The last leg of the trip, not being able to see all was a little draining on a guy.
For his hard work, Ryan has grossed $1,477.
Pretty cold out here, but can't feel the effects of the cold when you're in here running the pallet jack.
Despite New Orleans' best efforts, Brenda has delivered the load of Christmas boxes on time.
Boy, oh boy, there were so many tight turns here, but I'm here.
And with a payday of $1,783, Brenda has a lot to celebrate. She's beaten the boys and become the highest paid trucker of the week. And no better way to reward the winning truck than giving it a great big wash.
Can I wash your big rig?
Oh, damn. I am in New Orleans, okay? And I'm getting my truck washed, and baby, oh, if you could only see this. Oh, look at that. Oh, eat your heart out, okay? This is the end of my rough week. I had a rough week, but you know what? Now, I can party hardy. You hear what I'm saying? Because what? I'm in New Orleans. Yeah, baby, I'm in New Orleans. Woo-hoo. Yeah, party down, yeah. Bump, bump, yeah, bump. That's it, that's it.